Alrighty, so we are less than 2 weeks out from the next show. I think we're 10 days. We are 10 days from my second show of the year and also my second show of my bodybuilding career, where I will be competing for my pro card with the chances, hopes, and possibility of walking away from the show as an IFBB pro, which would be fantastic. When I ask myself, you know, what happens if I win and what happens if I lose, pretty much it's the same equation. We are training to be the greatest natural bodybuilder of all time. So if I win against enhanced athletes and, become an IFBB pro, then all that means is that during the off season for the next 8 to 10 months, I will be training as hard as possible to step on stage in 2025 and present a package that is worthy of being the greatest natural bodybuilder of all time. If I don't win against enhanced athletes on the November 9th, if I don't win, then that just means that during the off season of 2025, I have to train as hard as possible to compete against natural athletes and walk away with a pro card in 2025. So the training doesn't change. I think it's really just name recognition that would probably change. I would be more well known within the sport of bodybuilding were I to walk away with a IFBB pro card this upcoming, Saturday, November 9th, 10 days from now. So, the training doesn't change. The lifestyle doesn't change. I'm not going to become a millionaire overnight just by getting a pro card. It's really just, I would say, name recognition. Now, if there is one thing that I personally want to change between being an amateur bodybuilder and a professional bodybuilder is the great IFBB pros, the ones that you know of, like the Mr. Olympias, Ronnie King Coleman, that's his nickname, Dexter the Blade Jackson. What else? We got the Giant Killer or the Giant Slayer in, God, I'm forgetting his name. Oh man, I only just discovered him this year, to be fair. So we got Quadfather, Tom Platz, Quadfather. So you got all these IFBB Pro nicknames, is what I'm trying to say. We got the Gift, Phil Heath. You get where I'm going. So the nickname that I want to appoint myself only after I get my pro card is the Solution. I want Shaun Fury is the Solution, and the nickname I came up with is related to me being the solution to the steroid epidemic, if you want to call it that. And me being a natural bodybuilder and promoting this natural movement, I feel that that nickname is suiting to exactly what we're doing. And over the course of my career, it's like every time I step on stage, there's Shaun Fury, the solution to the steroid problem. That's what I have in my head. And I don't want to start calling myself that until I get my pro card, because it feels like that would be a very good transition. With that being said, I would like to take this time to kind of just give my current master plan so far as the execution of this story and this project. And we're going to go as global as we can. For those that have been watching my videos for a year or so now, I'm just really catching everyone else up to date with what the master plan is, which is essentially achieving world peace within this lifetime. I know it sounds ambitious. To some, it might even sound impossible, and it might be impossible. But the impossible is only impossible until someone does it. So here's my plan to achieve world peace within my lifetime. It's all going to be executed through what I like to view as an art project. And that art project is taking the life of one being, a human being, and presenting it as, what if this human being is the most powerful being in the universe? What accomplishments, excuse me on that, what accomplishments could he experience and achieve with this innate potential of being the most powerful being in the universe realized? That's what the art project is. So Shaun Fury is that powerful being, and he has developed an awareness of his power and his potential, and he has chosen to actualize it in this reality and see the heights of what the most powerful being in the universe can achieve. I've broken it down into 3 separate parts. We have the body, we have the mind, and we have the spirit. And these are the 3 central themes of the story, of the narrative, of the art project, and also of what makes a human being actually human. Mind, body, and spirit. The first chapter, or the first part, is the body. This is the beginning of the story and of the project. The way that I am presenting it is through competition, becoming the greatest natural bodybuilder of all time. So I like to call, if we're to break it down into 3 separate acts, I like to call Act 1 the body, becoming the Natty King. And that's the pinnacle of that first act, is like we follow this journey from before I even step on stage, which we can track back through YouTube videos, leading up to me getting my pro card and me giving myself the moniker of the solution, and the years spent as an IFBB pro promoting natural bodybuilding, all the way up to the moment that I get to be crowned the Natty King. Now, if that's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that story has to get told before we finish Act 1 of the body. Once we can actually wrap that up with a nice conclusion, and we crown ourselves as the Natty King, we've already gone through the process of becoming the solution, and yada, yada, yada. Okay, Natty King is done. Let's move over to Act 2. Act 2 is the mind. And that is becoming the apex of all alphas. That's what Act 2 is all about. What is the apex of all alphas? The apex of all alphas is the ultimate leader of planet Earth. It is the suggestion that there is one individual on this planet walking amongst us who has the vision and the capability to unite all of humanity under one thought and one intention, which is progress and evolution. So the apex of all alphas is intended to represent the potential of the human species if we all work together, and the things that we can achieve with that one singular intention being executed properly. That's what the apex of all alphas is intended to represent, and that's what Act 2 is supposed to show as we continue to evolve into that ultimate leader. So if we were to say Act 1 takes, let's say, 10 years to becoming the Natty King, from age 33, which is what I am now, to age 43, which is actually where a lot of natural bodybuilders reach their peak potential, at around age 43. So I become the Natty King within the next 10 years. Act 1's completed. Now we segue into Act 2, the mind, becoming the apex of all alphas. 10 years for that, age 43 to age 53, or longer, because time is irrelevant. It's all about the execution and telling the story properly. So age 43, segue, Act 2, the mind, becoming the apex of all alphas. We tell the story of uniting all of humanity with this one intention of progress and evolution, the rise of human consciousness, and forward thinking. So basically, I will rebrand myself as a futurist, a person who is hell-bent on pushing human development further, starting with younger generations and trying my best to work with people of my age range to meet and agree on a common cause. That's where we can get really dangerous. I actually do have, I've acclimated to the understanding that that will be the most adventurous portion of my life, where I will be meeting and dealing with potentially dangerous individuals that I do not see eye to eye on, yet somehow we have to find out a way to actually unite all of humanity under, like I said, one intention. And I don't have the answers for that yet, because it's at least 10 years away before that transition occurs. But I also know that by the time I get there, that's where my intention, focus, and my will and power will be committed to executing. So then we have that apex of all alphas. Fucking, that'll be a dope act, so to speak. And during that whole time, I'll still be, all of these things are happening at once. So it's like the peaking the body, the peaking the mind, the peaking of the spirit, all of that happens simultaneously. We're just putting different focuses and different, we're drawing a different attention to different moments within each act. So let's say that gets executed correctly, and I successfully become the apex of all alphas on this planet. And, 10 to 20 years, like I said, time is irrelevant. It's all about properly telling the story. Then, Act 3, the spirit, becoming the enlightened one. And who is the enlightened one? Well, we've already gone through the journey of the Natty King into the apex of all alphas to finish as the enlightened one. And to me, the enlightened one is the culmination of a life of experiences that has all driven to this final destination of a person of wisdom and good-naturedness. A person who has done everything he has set out to accomplish within his lifetime, and is now on the other side of it and gets to present himself as nothing more than a wizard to guide new kings and teach them how best to move forward within their own lives. There will be a supernatural element to that act specifically. There's going to be superpowers. I'm not going to get into what those superpowers are, because by the time we actually get to that act, it'll be so solidified within the narrative that I actually do have superpowers that it's more fun to further display that. You show, don't tell when it comes to stuff like that. And we will be able to show that in a very artistic, cinematic, and compelling way. Talking about it right now just doesn't do it justice, but there will be a supernatural element specifically to Act 3. But yeah, basically it's like playing Gandalf the Wizard. And I picture a lot of meditation, I picture a lot of travel, and I picture a lot of happiness. It's like that concept of actually experiencing heaven on earth. That's what Act 3 is supposed to be. Heaven on earth as experienced by the enlightened one. Now, if we can make the world as peaceful as I possibly can by the time that we get to Act 3, then we should all be experiencing a version of that. And I know it's going to take a lot of work. I know it will, but that's the vision that I have. And I think I about summed it all up. So this idea has been ruminating in my head for 10 years, literally 10 years. First coming into mind when I was age 23, which I guess is why I've broken each act down into 10 years. 10 years to gestate on this project, another 10 years to execute Act 1, which is the body, becoming the Natty King, another 10 years to execute Act 2, the mind, becoming the apex of all alphas, and then Act 3, the spirit, that goes into eternity. The enlightened one exists forever. What came across my consciousness most recently, which has really given me a lot of perspective on how how well this plan is going to be executed is I started focusing on the success of the WWE industry, or the company, the promotion, World Wrestling Entertainment. And I learned all about what is referred to as kayfabe within the wrestling industry. So, what is kayfabe, and how am I going to use kayfabe to essentially take over the world? My interpretation of kayfabe, and I'm sure a WWE superstar would describe it differently, but I think they would find some commonalities with my definition. Kayfabe, to me, is the concept of layered reality. If you were to look at anything in this world, this reality, and you were just to state the facts, well, the facts are quite uninteresting. Take, for example, this bowl that I ate my pancakes out of today, Kaiserschmarrn to be exact, because, well, I'm not going to get into what Kaiserschmarrn is. Basically, it's scrambled pancakes. Really tasty. But this bowl is a bowl with a crack in it. It's missing a piece. There's a fork in the bowl, and it's dirty. These are the facts about that bowl. It's not very interesting. Now, kayfabe is where you are actually to take this bowl and make a bigger story out of it, something that's more compelling, more interesting. This bowl stands as the pinnacle for what human achievement is possible of experiencing in this lifetime. The amount of ingenuity and craftsmanship that came and coalesced to create this bowl signifies the top peak example as to what we can actually create if we put our minds to the task at hand. To me, that's what kayfabe is. And I know it's going to get better. I know the explanation of exaggerating a fact and turning it into something larger than life will have to be perfected. Paul Heyman is a legendary entertainer within the WWE world. And I know that if I can develop my skill of hype and mic skills, if I can develop my skills to his level, we will be able to execute my kayfabe, my layered reality onto this planet in precisely the way that it needs to be. And it's really just believing in the story that you're telling yourself. That's what kayfabe is. So I can probably kayfabe myself better. On the surface, I'm an African-American male. I'm 33 years old, and I have a pretty good physique. That's on the surface. What is the truth? What is the story that I want to present with this body? My name is Shaun Fury, and I am destined to become the greatest natural bodybuilder of all time and elevate the sport to the same level of our enhanced contemporaries. Chris Bumstead is a thing of the past. Nobody's going to care about Chris Bumstead, Samson Dauda, and Ryan Terry by the time I'm fucking done with this project. Because natural bodybuilding will assume its rightful place at the top of the pedestal within the fitness industry by the time that I'm done. How will I do that? Because I'm going to make it make sense that the fitness industry and health and wellness should be representing its natural athletes over that of the enhanced. It just is the most logical sequence of events. Why would the fitness industry and health and wellness as a whole be choosing enhanced athletes to present themselves as the face of this industry? It doesn't make sense. So that's my argument. And through the process of me becoming the face of natural bodybuilding and essentially the face of the fitness industry, I will show the world exactly how misaligned this industry was before I actually came into the picture. So that's my kayfabe on Act 1. Becoming the solution to this steroid problem and ascending to the rank of the Natty King. We develop these skills required in order to actually transcend this sport and become the Natty King through having the greatest physique that I can possibly possess, and also the right storytelling abilities, everything else that's required. We will be able to take those skills and apply it into the next act at an even larger scale, which is the apex of all alphas. Kayfabe isn't just existing within WWE anymore, where you have, let's say, Mark Calloway playing The Undertaker and his whole mysterious and spooky persona that he has to walk around with in character at all times. Their definition of kayfabe is selling the finish. You have to sell the finish. And if my finish for Act 1 is becoming the Natty King, then the finish for Act 2 is becoming the apex of all alphas and never breaking character until it's achieved. For me, it's never, like, you never break character, period. Like, the character is Shaun Fury. The character is the solution. The character is the Natty King. He is the apex of all alphas, and he is the enlightened one. And all of these characters are existing inside me, and I'm presenting them simultaneously. We're just focusing on different aspects of that same character. It's a very, very layered presentation and narrative, but that's the beauty of kayfabe. It's layered reality. So, gosh, I could talk all day about the execution of this story and how I get to focus on different aspects of the character at any given time. And it's all very exciting and very stimulating. And I can spend literally my entire waking days working and focusing on this project. And I will. That's the gift I'm going to give myself. And I will get to make the world a better place as a result. And it's really just getting better. It's just getting better, the thing that I'm doing. The top names that I'm looking at to perfect this new craft, the mastery of kayfabe, in my opinion, is I'm looking at Paul Heyman, as I've already mentioned. CM Punk is really great with mic skills. I would say that I'm looking at him for examples on shooting and pipe bombs, like basically exposing the inner workings of whatever it is that you're entrenching yourself in, and showing the flaws and showing the cracks in someone else's armor, an industry's armor, and actually presenting those cracks in a compelling way and showing how I am the example to push against and break those cracks open. That's what CM Punk represents to me. Then you have John Cena, who is likable, charismatic, and very quick-witted on the mic. He always has something prepared. And he also represents as a great role model to the youth, which is something I'm taking very seriously because I understand that this is all about the next generation. That's who I will be able to impact the most. Once I'm gone, all we have left are the children and the kids that get to look up to us and be inspired by. So we have Paul Heyman, we've got CM Punk, we've got John Cena, and we've got The Rock, the great one, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. He's huge on my list of people to reference so far as actually becoming the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. And that's what we are doing. Natural bodybuilding is becoming sports entertainment right before our eyes. If I have to fucking claw and scratch and invest every single cent of myself and my being into this project, natural bodybuilding is becoming sports entertainment, and I will be the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, just like The Rock. So, how do we accomplish that? What did The Rock do that was so goddamn special? Man, he was electrifying. How else do you put it? He had so much energy and so much charisma, and he was funny. He was charming. He had such outstanding mic skills. He exuded confidence. He referred to himself as the great one, and he got the fans to buy into it as well. So whenever he would finish a sentence where it's like, And the rock means millions. I said, and then the crowd goes, millions. The fans are joining in with him. They're part of the experience of being the great one. So basically it's taking the world along for the ride. That's my interpretation of what The Rock was so great at accomplishing, is that when he's speaking to his fans, it feels as if his fans are along for the ride. And I think that's the thing that makes The Rock so special, is that he had that ability to bring everyone else along with him. So yeah, those are my lessons, and I'm going to continue to study these WWE superstars and focus on my skills, specifically Mike. You know, I feel like I'm lacking, and I might be good at public speaking and all that stuff, but I feel like the thing that I'm lacking most in is character work. I think we need to present a more thought out character other than just Shaun Fury. Who is Shaun Fury beyond just a man with a goal? I feel like that's who I'm presenting as currently. There's not enough edge, there's not enough intention with my mannerisms, with my behaviors that solidify the character in the collective consciousness. Right now, it's just a guy with an idea. So we actually need more character work, and it needs to be refined to a higher level so that instead of, okay, hearing me talk, we get it. Shaun Fury wants to take over the world. But who is Shaun Fury? Just like Tony Stark is a cocky super genius who, you know, is very sure of himself, and sometimes his sureness gets him in trouble. Tony Stark in a nutshell. And whenever we see Tony Stark, we get to see that entire spectrum of his character, the way that he presents, the way that he talks, the way that he interacts with people. We need to do that for Shaun Fury. And I'm still working on it. I am still working on the character and solidifying that, because I've always been a big fan of Tony Stark. I find a lot of how he presents similar to the character that I have in mind for myself, at least during Act 1 and maybe half of Act 2, which is becoming the apex of all alphas. And then we have to segue, obviously, into the Enlightened One, which is a very calm individual, a man who just exudes generosity, peace, and tranquility. That's the final product, but that's 20 to 30 years away. So right now, we're working on cockiness, charisma, confidence, and fluidity in speech. And if there's anything I can change that's on the forefront of my mind, it's the way that I talk still comes off a bit too choppy, a bit too nerdy, not swaggy enough, not flowy enough. So that's the thing that I'm focusing on right now so far as changing. Let me see if I can make that adjustment right now. Yo, it's Shaun Fury here, future Natty King, and I just wanted to hop on here and tell you that it's all coming. The shift in the fitness industry is happening right before our eyes. And by the time that it's over, I will be the face of this thing and the face of health and wellness. It's going to be a great time. And the enhanced bodybuilders that got to spend all that time basking in the glory, really unjustifiably so, due to the fact that if you're taking steroids, how are you the face of the fitness industry? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But that's neither here nor there. But, you know, we're going to right the ship, as, you know, God gave me this task to complete, and by God, I'm going to do it. I wouldn't even say I'm going to die trying, because it's either you do or you don't, and I'm doing. So that's all the news that's fit to print right now. Going to take off the robe and show off the physique. Less than 2 weeks out. We're talking 10 days. Coach says I actually have a really good chance of winning this, so whether I win or I don't, I'll still be the GOAT. men's physique. As soon as I get out of men's physique and switch over to classic physique, it's over. It's over. The Natty King will have arrived. It'll be a great time. I think I'm done. Okay. Nice chatting with you.